here's why I don't run out of things to say. Because people want to have conversations, and they'll throw things out there that are topics that are good ones. So it makes me want to talk about them. Oh, what's the topic? No, it's just it comes to me as I go. It's a floodgate. What gets my mind rolling is the knowing that I just pushed a record button. Because I don't like wasting people's time unless they're evil continually. Then I don't have an issue with that tormenting spirit that comes in your direction. Because that tormenting spirit is the same spirit from the boss man that created my desire to open the floodgates. If it wasn't for Satan making this world so sickening here in hell, then I wouldn't have opened my big mouth. But what do you expect, really? It's hell. It's hell. It's, good people are in hell and bad people go to heaven. And the reason being is because once you die, only if you knew that the entire time you live on earth in this flesh, you're told to do this, you're told to do that, you're told you can't do this, you can't do that, you're told that whatever it is that you're doing is wrong, and whatever you think you're going to do, don't even try it. So in other words, don't think for yourself, don't have your own life, don't live your own life, live according to what Satan wants you to do, your adversary. It's not even that Satan himself, like the one person that is the guy, the person that you're gonna see at some point. It's gonna be an individual. There's gonna be a seat. Here's how I envision it. There's gonna be a seat, and only one person sits in it. And his name is God. And then Joseph is someone that goes in and he sits in that next seat next to God. Because in spirit, Joseph believed in his God. In reality, Satan is God. So whoever is in complete control of, like, the land, the Pharaoh. I don't even know who was the Pharaoh. I don't know if they really had names, did they? There's so much I gotta learn that I'll learn as I go. This is a lifelong process. So there is a seat, and somebody's going to be sitting in there, and they're going to say, "Hey, Robin, you finally made it, huh?" "Yep, I finally made it." This is how I learned. So anyway, the conversations that take place is through the YouTube platform. It's through it for me. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I learned how to create this fiberglass hood that's unfinished, but it's there. It fits. And I learned that through the YouTube platform. Back in 2013 when I created my account on 8/24, like Detective Spooner's badge number, it has 8/24 on there. Precinct 28. I was born on the 28th day of June. Not 1966 like Satan was, but exactly 10 years later, 1976, June 28th. Rosemary's Baby had his father's eyes. I wonder if he looked anything like that guy in the picture. So here's what happens with myself. When I first started out, I was talking into thin air. I was just venting. It's a platform that I realized I can upload videos and then I can vent. I can vent to people about the fakery I see, and then I'll get some feedback. When I first started getting comments, I remember I was commenting to this one person. He was getting a lot of comments because one of his videos blew up, and I was commenting to him before his channel blew up. And then once it happened, it was like I felt like I was almost talking to a famous person. And I thought it was pretty cool because he got all these comments and I didn't get any. And then I started to get a few of them. I got a few more. I got a couple after that, some more after that. I did some video, I think it was in October 2017. It was about the 70-year anniversary. 70 years, 70, what was I saying? 7 days. It's 70 years, 7 days. I don't know, but it was about May 21st and October 21st, 2011. Because I was going by that being that 7-year period where I thought the tribulation was coming to an end in 2018. Now that I look back at that, that may have been the first set of good plenty years. And then the next 7 could have started 2018 up until the 25th, or 2025. But again, I don't know. You guys know. I don't. I won't know until somehow it just falls in place, like the way that the Bible is. Things just fall into place. Certain names line up better with the character that I'm picturing on certain YouTube channels. But then it seems like it's too good to be true, because even though the Bible, I believe now, alrighty then, is written by the elite, but they're the ones that run everything. They're the ones that this earth, this creation, the internet, the vehicles, the just everything that we see is created by them. So they own everything. We were just taught to believe the interpretation in such a different way that I call BS on a lot of it. And so I'm going to just tell you my interpretation. And I do that because I was told not to tell you my interpretation. I was told to shut up. If you want to get the word out there, Robin, shut up. Just read the Bible. That's why I like Poor Pilgrim and Ashley, because you guys just read the Bible. And I love that as I wink my eye at you. Matthew. Now, did you really expect me to not? I wonder, did Matthew really expect me to stop? Or did he say that knowing that it would fire me up more to continue? Which one is it? I think he's smart enough to know that on that day when he was crucifying me, my 11th month and first day, That's right. While he had 111 subscribers. After I made my first video upload on April 2nd, 2017, it was just 1 minute 11 seconds long, randomly with Bowie, because I was coming in with a bow on the YouTube platform. I didn't quite develop into Robin's Hood yet, because it was Bowie Merlin's Fake News. That's the first, that's what I named it. Bowie Merlin's Fake News, because that was my dog's name. Well, we named him Bowie. His name was Merlin at birth, and then my wife named him Bowie. And so that was my name for the channel. And then I progressed into Robin's Hood Deception by Design, because it's same thing, fake news, deception by design. And then people would start saying that I am a fake, I am a liar, I am a false prophet, I'm a robotoid, a transvestite, I am CIA, FBI. All these things that I was getting accused of. And then I was, within my first year, I would have so much attention with false prophet titles for me, and I don't even know who these people are. And so within the first year, the first 2 years, I really feel like I got attacked by Satan more than I've ever gotten attacked before, even with the spirit that runs inside my kid's mom's mind. The entire time I was with her and without. All the bad times. So that's that spirit. That spirit was just, my goodness. And then I experienced more attacks on the YouTube platform as I'm voluntarily doing it for free. And I think within the first 2 years, I finally monetized that Walmart video. 7 months and 2 days after joining the YouTube platform, I did that video at Walmart. It has over 3.2 million fish that I caught with Robin's net, and I did it completely asleep. When I think back of all the things, how this YouTube thing progressed, I would just talk out into the thin air. I would push record and not really think I'm getting anybody's attention, not even really knowing where it's going to go. It didn't matter. I found an avenue. Here's why I kept doing it, why I even started. To vent. It's a ventilation system. I needed to breathe my air into this ventilation system, and unfiltered ventilation system. Yeah, it got me in trouble a few times. That's why you always need a ventilation system with a good filtration system in it. So now I filter my words. I try not to babble on as much without having a clear point. But again, sometimes I just need to push that record button, and I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it, to my points that I'm trying to make. And it's about communication, and it's about how I started with this YouTube, and how I change because I start realizing people, not you change. I've changed because right now there's at least somebody that's able to see me throughout my entire life, like Christophilus, day in and day out, 24/7, no matter what I do, where I go. Because the technology is, how can't you just tap into our eyes? How can't you just tap into it? You created us. Why wouldn't you be able to see through us? Cars are made. You don't think cameras are inside of cars to watch your every move? Cameras outside. Cameras, it's Satan's world. God owns it. So things change once you start realizing people are actually paying attention to your channel. Not that I didn't know people weren't, because most of the people that were paying attention, they were acting like they're not from the inside, and they're acting like someone like the top Luciferian in the United States by a man named Stephen James Sean is just slanderous words, and they're all lies. And he's not the top guy that should be coming in your direction from the very gate, Robin. So don't even think that. We want you to think that what you're doing means nothing. We're going to throw you in the pit just like we did with Joseph. We don't really care. We want you dead. Just shut the hell up. We're tired of hearing you. And we hope you go to prison for a couple years, and we just don't really want to hear what you got to say anymore. So I keep saying what you don't want to hear, and I keep talking, and some of you have to still review. And after all of these years, I'm still up doing it. I still have things to talk about. Now it's a direct, clear, open door of communication to whoever wants to have a conversation this way. It'd be great. It's going to be great, even though it doesn't ever seem like it's going to happen, but it will. When I'm finally able to meet the people that I've been spending my life with the past 5 years, 6 years, the people, everybody, but with the good intentions, and the truth is, it's finally revealed, and there you go. It's revealed. It's time to move to the next step. What is it that I want in life? Well, obviously, on a personal level, the greatest thing that can possibly happen in my life is the simple fact that I just don't have to work. That's it. I don't have to work, but how are you going to make money? Well, that's the thing. Whatever work I'm doing now is sufficient, and that's the work that I put in. And this is that college that I'm still attending. I just haven't graduated yet. I initially thought I would only attend it for 4 years. What I decided to do during that time is take more of a master's degree in discerning deception 101. I took another course, and it's in order to be a master at it, you got to master it. You got to nail that test down and get 100. So what's going on now? When I talk out loud, I'm not just talking into thin air. There used to be transfer demons. People have transferred them over into me, to my mind, just by saying something and putting a doubt in my mind that what I'm doing doesn't matter. But then Stephen James would make sure that I know that it matters. You'd always find a way to just poke and prod just enough, like a guiding fiery arrow poking me in the side, like one of those, like, all right, okay, I get it, I gotta go over here. It's no different with everybody else that sees my life and as if I'm some great big sinner. Reminds me of Job talking to his friends. And at some point, it's just, all right, enough already with all of you privileged. Yeah, you want to tell me about my life. You want to tell me what I need to do, what I need to stop complaining about, what I need this, that, and the other thing. Well, I don't live like you guys do. Don't live worldly. You don't want... What's going to make you happier, Robin? If you get a new car, I mean, if you drive a nice new Ferrari, is that going to make you happier? If you get a brand new nice house that's specifically custom made and built for you, is that going to make you happier, Robin? Is it going to make you happy if you divorce your wife and go marry somebody else? Is it going to make you happy if you drink whatever you want and get drunk? Well, yes and no. Yes, it'll make me happier when this is over and I'm able to step into a life that I dreamed of, because I'm a filthy dreamer. According to, I think, 914, to my gematria number, it says I'm a filthy dreamer. Stephen James typed it in. But yet, when I seen that white horse out front of the St. Peter and Paul's Basilica, right there at Logan Square, dead center where the eye is, and that white horse literally had 914 on the title. I mean, it might as well just said 914 here in my face. All it meant to me was the future is so bright that Jonathan Kleck is going to give you his shades. And he's going to sign his name on it. Just for you, Rob and Henry Tees. Because that's the impact that you created. And I know it, and the ones that I created it for know it. So that's why I keep having non-stop topics to talk about whenever I'm not in front of the computer. Because who am I really talking to? Out loud, to myself, to everybody that's listening in. Now, sure, I would complain less if somehow it just clicked and registered. When is that day? When is that day? Is it such a horrible thing to ask for, Lord? When is that day, Father? The day that I'm able to step into the world that I've been creating in my mind as a filthy dreamer? When does it actually come true, that dream? Oh, dreams don't ever come true? Robin, shut up. Yeah, see, that was a demon that used to try to enter in my mind years ago. That doesn't work anymore. You know why it doesn't work? Because the people that I talk back and forth with clearly make it known that they know the Bible inside and out, and they're part of the world script, and they know the timing, and they know the ending, and they know the beginning from the end, and they know that you're a part of it. Yeah, I know that too, but I don't live my life as easy as you guys do. It's just not an easy life down here, living in hell, trying to raise it up. You know, good people are in hell. Just look around you. Look around everywhere I drive by. Good people. Bad people. There's some good people, there's some bad people. Bad people go to hell. Go to heaven. Good people are down here. What Pastor Greg Laurie is trying to tell you on Skip Heitzing's channel. Right, Greg? That's your name, right? Laurie? It's like, because there's Jeffrey Doherty, there's Greg Laurie. Who knows? You probably Jonathan Kleck behind the mask as Satan. But regardless, everybody that I show on my I wouldn't call this really a soap opera because it's not actually a soap opera. Soap operas are filled with lies and just, you know, the gossip of things that pertain to nothing in people's in their business. Yeah, I'm in everybody's business, but it's a good business to be in. I am doing business with people that I want to be in business with. So I'm going to mind your own business because you're minding my own business. There was a time where that Kim Jean was just, it's like, all right, Kim, enough. Like, I'm just tired of hearing you talking about the sin of alcohol. Why don't you tell me what's really in alcohol and what the sin is, and what are you doing behind that pulpit when you're reading and preaching and rolling your eyes up in your head? What's going on under that table there? So just relax. And then, because I know that I'm being watched 24/7, what it did was it changed my it went from I'm already by birth just an uncomfortable person because I'm uncomfortable in this world. I just don't know what it is, and then once I finally realized, oh, Robin, you know why you're naturally uncomfortable? Because you didn't realize gang stalking is through everybody, and you didn't realize that all those people that just get in your way and they're just always there, and it's like they try to make things difficult for you. They were always there, and they were put there on purpose. So your entire life, when you didn't know, you always felt attacked by everywhere you go. Just even if you're not being attacked, you feel attacked. Now that I realize what it is, it's like the kid yesterday that was doing some leg dashing. Couldn't have been more than 17. Looked like he just got his license, and he's going at me as I'm just walking out of the job site towards my truck. So instead of crossing over the street and getting out of his way, I cut back into the direct middle of the street so he would have to slow down. How would I know he's going to slow down? I could have got hit. He could have killed me. Yeah. Well, it doesn't work like that because that used to be the fear that I lived in. Lucy used to be someone that I misunderstood. I didn't understand it. But then I spent 40 years in the wilderness. And I know Darius takes over at the age of 62. Lucy in the skies with diamonds. So as I cut back into the middle of the street, because what he did was, let's say he's right here and I am at that vehicle right there. And I'm walking out of the job site, heading to my truck, which is probably at the telephone pole. From the beginning, the kid stomps the gas, and it's an instant gang stalking tactic. I catch it in a split second. As I'm crossing over the street this way, it's coming at me. So what I did was I cut back in the middle of the street in order to be directly in front of him. So that way he has to either run me over or slow down. Once I realized he slowed down and stepped to the side a little tiny bit and just looked at him, he had a stupid smirk on his face. Those are the demons that have always attacked me. Those are the ones that the YouTube agents have tried to instill into my brain, and they truly wanted me to stop talking. Because you've never come across someone so difficult to take down. And I'm sure you's all thought, no problem. No problem. We're going to get Matthew, the tax collector. We're going to name him Matthew. A couple people in the Bible we're going to name. They may be playing that person. They may not be. She may have opened her door up just because I'm coming by. It's just a tactic that they do. For what reason? I don't know. Just an action. Because you're the director and you make things move. But I don't get paid for it. Do I have to get paid for it? At some point, I need to be compensated, yes. Which brings me back to people that... Do you even live on this planet? Do you even live on this planet? Or do you make an appearance somewhere on this planet and then go back to your heavenly home, overlooking the planet? One day, that'll be me. And I dreamt it up. So, what happens if all this is literally a dream and it's a matrix where I'm in my bubble, I'm immersed in some kind of liquid, I'm completely in a coma. The weirdest thing is that as I'm in a coma and I'm in this dreamland, everything seems so real. And then when I go to sleep at night and rest this body because it's tired and everything feels so real, I go into another dreamland where I sort of can control dreams at certain times, but not really as much. Other people can control their dreams very vividly. Maybe it's gamers. Gamers do that because they're mostly, it's in their head all the time. You immerse yourself into that, and you can basically, once you go to sleep, that's your world for those 8 hours. My world for the 6 hours I get of sleep, I get pretty tired, 5-6 hours sometimes. There's too much information that I got to get out. I mean, I don't have to get it out. I want to get it out. Why am I doing it? It's my choice, because I choose to. Why do you keep getting in front of the computer, Robin, every single day? And doesn't that... I thought you were complaining about the buzzing in your arm and your head vibrating. Yeah, I just got used to it. I just accepted that this is just what it is. Sometimes I just forget about it. Like the Matrix, Agent Smith asking Neo, as he's in the swamp, like Florida, one of the ponds, the Kleck showed today. Agent Smith asking Neo, why are you doing? What's the point? There's no rhyme or reason for creation. It's just random. Why? And he said, because I choose to. That's really it. It's my decision to do so. I can say God sent me. I can give Satan all the credit and say, I can say God sent me, gave me a desire to do it, but the reality is Satan gave me a desire to start YouTube. Satan's the one that, without him slandering me and attacking me viciously with all these demons that made me so sick and disgusted. Oh man, the anger that came from my mouth after I was being attacked, because I came in peaceably. I really did. Within the first year, even with Matthew doing his little spiel there for 3 hours between the 6th and the 9th hour with that word crucifixion. Even with him doing that, I was still pretty peaceful at that moment because I had other people that I thought had my back. So as I'm thinking Matthew's turning against me, I can kind of see that coming. And then Jerry from A Light of Truth, and he turns. And then Derek from A Glop of Truth, and because Derek was acting as if the Judas was Matthew, as if it was just one person. And Well, it could be. Could have been. But he was more like the crucifier, really. The one that led me over to the crucifier. He would be Judas. And because I thought friends, it wasn't so bad. A couple months later, time to make a stand for SJD, July 2nd, 2018. Only a year and some change in. I'm a toddler. I'm 1 year old into this new world that I just decided to step into because, well, I mean, Satan, if it wasn't for his lies on the TV platform, if it wasn't for him literally interrupting me, Barack Obama, I wouldn't have had that desire. So where do I give God credit when Satan's the one that created the disgust in my heart? It was a creation. He created it. So it's like, all right, well, Satan, you created this disgust in my heart. Now I'm going to create a solution for that. And I'm going to torment your agents. And then I'm also going to be a therapist, a counselor. I'm going to be a peacemaker. I'm going to tell you my own interpretation of Scripture. I'm going to show you what is around me day in and day out. I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. I'm going to hold no good thing from you. I'm going to speak into the airwaves of the principality of the air so he can listen and he can send his giants to me now. So, Pastor Greg Laurie is a giant, in my view. But I don't put it past him being someone like another character I've already been talking to. Because it's all the same language anyway. And he's a friend of Skip Heitzing's is a friend of mine. So if you want to invite Pastor Greg to get my attention and he throws some prayers out there to see if they get answered, like at the end of his last words on your as your guest speaker, about being a follower of Jesus, and thank you for answering my prayers. The language is to do a certain movement when you say that, to draw attention to it, and then you have to read the mind of what they were thinking, because they're drawing your attention to prayers being answered, which means mind reading is quite a gift if you can do it. But how do you know unless you're reading the minds of the people that are communicating with you? And that, in the end, they don't have to really tell you that you read their mind, Robin, because they'll answer back something, confirm what you thought was in their mind. Why is it so important to you, Robin? Well, my adversary Satan, that's doesn't speak as much anymore because I've conquered you. It's because you know damn well these are the gods of the earth. These are the kings. These are the ones that my heavenly Father sent me in the direction of. You mean your actual Father who lives in heaven? Him too. I don't exclude you from being a heavenly Father. I just separate that there's a spirit that is above all and everything. And that's what ultimately led me here, because not only did Satan encourage me to come against his people, it was God's plan from the beginning for that to happen, because this is how the world gets created. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with John. John was with the Word. And the Word was just, it was like God this and God that, and God was the Word. And they can make things change. So in the meantime, I've learned, some people hold on to every single word that I say. And I don't know if that's really a healthy thing. John Quinton, wise, one of you bird watchers. Oh, and if you want to be a bird watcher, that's on you. I'm going to do what I want with my bird. And whatever you do with your bird is just, if you don't force it on somebody, have at it. Just, don't let anybody tell you what to do in life. Because you're already in hell right now. You're here. Yes, we were lied to. We were told that it was somewhere else. This is the planet itself. This is actually where, when you die, this is the only place that you can go again unless you go up. So you're only possibly going to repeat it again, or this is your time to live in the flesh. No matter what you do in the flesh, when you're done, this is the beginning. Think about this. You could be a murderer, child molesting rapist on earth. And when your body dies and you're no longer in the flesh, let's just say you accepted Christ at that exact moment, right before you died, and you were honestly, it's what you wanted, and somehow that saved you. Somehow that saved you. You did no good works your entire life. You're like the thief on the cross. You all of a sudden, you didn't even ask to go to heaven. You said something that Christ knew that your faith in him was sufficient enough. And that moment, as soon as you said that, you were in paradise with Christ on that cross. You were getting nails driven through your arms, your hands, and you're in paradise at that very moment because you now are married to the Christ. You're married to it, the Spirit. So that's what happened. And it has nothing to do with sex. It's not a sexual relationship, although intercourse in the Bible is mentioned, but it's in spirit. It's nothing perverted. So the people that die and they accept Christ before they die, they get to go to heaven. So what you're saying, Greg, is my dad accepted Christ in his life before he died. And you went to see him because you were in Pennsylvania. My dad died in hospice, the front room, because he was at my sister's house doing. I went to see him too. You were also telling the same story that I was telling maybe a week or two ago about my wife saying I should go see my dad before he dies, and about 3 weeks later he died. And so your mom was married to a guy named Bill. Haven't figured out who your mom is, but if you're 70 years old, it could have been Butchie. Could have been Butchie, because she died at 88. And what you're saying is your mom, if your mom was Butchie, then so this guy's just a gang stalker, just purely. Because what he's doing is he keeps inching over and not getting over, and then just being in the way. So that would be something else. That my grandma, Butchie, she seemed like a very mean person, but stern. I didn't know her too much. I just always got not a really good vibe around her. She wasn't very pleasant. There was no smiles. I don't think I ever caught her laughing. And she just was always mean. Just a mean look. Nasty. But if that was your mother, then you're saying she accepted Christ a month beforehand. I wonder. Look, another move. These are all gang stalking tactics to just stall you. And if you don't develop patience from it, then it'll keep irritating you. So thank you, Satan, for helping me work on my patience. Even though I didn't really want to, but boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, you sure have a way of really refining me and helping me be more patient. Because I don't want to be patient. I never thought my family was involved in this. And now more and more and more, well, yous all are. Yous all are involved in it. Oh, and guess what? Yous all benefit in the end because of me. Because of me, you get the benefit. You get to rest. Anybody that's still alive at that point. Because of the works that I did. And I am part of the family that was keeping secrets about my birth. It doesn't matter who my dad is, who my real father is or not, or my real mom or not, or my real mother or father or not. Doesn't matter. My real mother or father could also be my wait a minute. Hold on. Mother, father, mother, yeah, brother. Yeah, it could be, yeah. I could actually have, my mother could be my father and brother and cousin all at the same time. How is that possible? Well, all right, let me try to go over this one last time. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm saying, let's just say my mom was really with my father's, well, hold on. Yeah, well, let's just say it would have to be a stepmom, or yeah, it would have to be step. It'd have to be a half and a step, because if I was an actual son of a man, then that means that I have to start there. If I was actually a son of a man, because we're sons of men, we're the reptilian race that I've learned about, just gets the womb implant, probably just injected into your belly. You just got to cut it open a little bit, pull some stuff out, and then just inject that football. Once you connect it to the uterus that you create and you invert, then that belly forms and it's baby ready. Are there bodies that are made, that are cloned, that are just like flesh, waiting for our pineal glands to be plugged into when we die and to take our bones up? Probably, maybe. Is there new skin that doesn't bleed out? I think so. Does it look just like flesh and it is flesh? Probably. Yep. Probably all of it's true. When you die and you go to the next realm. What was my point? I lost it. But that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes I'll lose my point. But the point is, talking to these people that are in charge of things, you know the outcome. And you know that I'm waking up to my family being every bit part of it. I can't look at a certain picture ever in a different way other than what I actually see behind it. And then so now, what's the reason behind the picture? Why are those images in that family photo? So again, doesn't matter who my dad is, because if I was a son of a man, the man would have had to have been, or an actual son of a man, that man would have had to have parthenoed into a female, or it's just the way they're born. But then if that's just the way they were born and then I'm born from it, wouldn't I be born like that too, and not just a regular average human? So I think the idea is the transformation of women are born and they're naturally born a woman, even since God took woman from Adam and created her out of a man, that, eventually it's still like you have sex with another creation that just isn't hairy and is pretty. That's what women are. They're supposed to be not hairy and pretty. And they're inverted and you're outverted. So that's the difference. Now, women are born naturally to have babies. So when a man is born and then he transforms into a female and then he has a baby, that boy that comes out, well, he's going to be a son of a man. So that's how that works. A son of a man. And because that man will have a father, and his father is with his brother's wife, and then he's like considered the dead brother, and then going into your dead brother's wife, well, going into your dead brother's wife can also translate to your brother transformed, died as a male, went to female. Therefore, that's why God was mad at that one guy that wouldn't spill his seed inside his dead brother's wife. Because maybe that was his brother that he was having sex with the entire time, but she looked like a female, and how could you tell? Lucifer, it's like, man, Lucifer, if you did that to me, kudos. I got to give it to you. You did a pretty damn good job with my wife. Changing her from a male to female? You are a great physician. So in the meantime, it's just what you're presented with is male and female. There's a desire, a sexual desire that we're born with, and then we're told to don't touch. Who the hell are you to tell me what to do? Don't look. How's that? Don't touch. Don't look. Turn your head. Mind your own business. So now that I know that people are watching, and it's not only watching, but really people on the edge of their seat waiting for me to speak to them, like I'm some kind of rock star or something. I may be the brokest damn rock star you've ever known, because a rock star, they're usually rich, and they usually just live a better life than I do, and they get to do whatever they want besides certain things, rituals, but I guess they just get used to it. It's part of the routine. So I'm the brokest rock star on the planet, and I just want to make sure that what I do, I'm not gonna let you alter what I do just because I know you're watching. You can either watch or not, and you can say I'm a sinner, and you can say that I'm gonna go to hell, and you can say that I didn't already die, and you can say that you don't live in hell, Robin, and you can also say that you're not going to heaven because you're a dirty, filthy dreamer, sinner, a gluttonous. You're a drunk, Robin. You drink. You're an alcoholic. You desire to have a white Ferrari at some point in your life. That's really worldly. You need to just, be humble, put on your sandals, quit your job, walk the streets, be homeless. Just enjoy your life with what you don't have. Now, how about if I correctly interpret Scripture, because I'm living it? I have desires like any other human being in the flesh. I desire rest for my labors. I desire God to build me a home. I desire God to give me whatever I want. Because whatever I want, my needs, the things that I need, I already have. Now it's the things that I want that I don't have. Do I need it? I don't. No, nobody needs it. But I already have what I need. Now I just want what I want. I want the enjoyment that you guys have. Like you, Greg, Lurie. What kind of Ferrari do you have in your garage? Can you tell me? On our next conversation, what kind of cars do you have? And don't act like you don't like nice cars. Nice, or at least talk about chariots. We can talk about chariots and just pretend you don't have a garage full of the best cars on the planet. Like, are you? You probably may even be Jay Leno. I just think everybody's wearing a mask, and each individual is men of renown. Lots of famous people. Jacob Israel, you may even be The Rock. He just might be. You may even be Stephen James DeShawn too. You may even be Jacob, wrestling with God. And then it seems too easy. Like, oh, well, there's Jacob. He wrestles with God. There he goes. He's in the Bible. I want to live like you guys live. Freely. You know why? Because you get to live the way that I do now. He's a DoorDasher. Which is, your spirit has changed since you've been listening to my channel. And the reason it changed is because I've been shown things that are secrets and I've revealed them. And it's not like somebody just gave me all the answers, but I've learned through a bunch of different YouTube channels how to communicate that language. And for some reason, the Jonathan Kleck channel spent the most time trying to communicate with me with each video, one after another after another. At times, the Antichrist spirit inside of me said, they're not talking about you, Robin. And then Jonathan Kleck made the one video. All he had to do was say, by the way, Robin, nerd. And that's it. That's all he had to say. You see how that worked out, Greg, from that point on? From February 29th, 2020, leap year, when Jonathan Kleck gave me a shout out, I didn't back off of, coming after him in a certain way, but I did ease up because there was a touch of love there instead of all bitter and anger, because I couldn't stand that he knew more than what he was saying. I couldn't stand that he was talking about laying hands on people when I wasn't even giving him anything in videos to lay hands on people with. And then when he says it now, I understand that when you're laying hands on people, you're healing them because you have information. You're not saying that, but you're laying hands on people because of the information they receive. It's not that you're putting your hand on somebody and they get cured of their sickness as if they were sick. Although some people could have stage 4 cancer, like rectal cancer or something, and you have the ability to change their ass to a planet. Uranus is a planet. You have the ability to eliminate the problem. So there's different avenues that happens with being able to lay hands on people, the meaning of it. But I just want people to know what it truly means. It means Jonathan Kleck has information that he's going to show you. And he's going to show you something that the person he's showing it to knows is a secret that only they know. So when somebody else shows them the revelation of it, reveals it to them, it becomes a miracle. It's just a simple miracle. These are what miracles really are. The miracles you thought of before is fantasy land. Jesus walked on water. I mean, it was a miracle. How did he do it? I don't know. Just a miracle. No, miracles actually can be explained. They're just superhuman angel and demon power, because it's the communication of the Spirit. That's the miracle. Those are the miracles that the Bible's talking about. It's a miracle. How did he feed 5,000 people with 2 fish? It's a miracle. Well, you didn't answer my question. Oh, with a fish, some kind of atoms were split and then they automatically just reproduced out of the thin air. It's a miracle. And fed so many people. They had so many loaves of bread left over. Just look at each loaf of bread as a video in a basket filled with like 4,000 of them. 4,000 videos. Look at that. And look at the 2 fish as 2 witnesses. Enki and Enlil, for an example. Just look at it as the both of them. And they deliver information to 5,000 of their employees. That information is something that only they know and myself. And the only reason I knew it is because God revealed it to me, which proves that God is real. God is real. How many fathers do I have? I might have 4 fathers. Maybe even 5. I had my stepdad, David. Now, is my pop, Bill, is he my dad or is he another stepdad? And then if so, am I a son of a man? Therefore, would my mom be a mother, father, which would be a 3rd father? And then the legitimate Lord God in heaven that wouldn't you be Enlil? That runs the heavens. You're another father. You would be the 4th father, 4 fathers. And then my 5th father would be the Heavenly Father in spirit. So there's always going to be 2 fathers, because one's in spirit, and then the other one is the one that, listens to the same spirit that I'm listening to. So there's 2 of them there. And then there's the earth, my birth, the one that, if it was a male-female system, that would be the 3rd father. And then there would be 2 stepfathers, so that would be 5 of them. And then there's Satan. But then again, Satan would be my actual father, the one that gave birth to me, literally from his own seed in his own body. So yeah, that would be 5 fathers. With all those fathers, I learned how to become a father myself to, like, Pharaoh. What a crazy world this is that I get to live it. I swear I'm in a dreamland. Sometimes it seems too easy, too good to be true. And how things keep just tying in. It's like, I guess only time can do that, and a desire to continue. Like, in other words, all of the decisions I've made on the YouTube platform since I started were my own decisions. I decided to do this, that, or the other thing. I decided to follow this channel and to pay attention to this person and show you clips of this guy, what he's saying, and how he's talking to this other guy over here, who somebody else that I'm watching, and then another guy I show you is talking to those 2. And then I start understanding that, wow, all these people, they like run the planet. Ain't that interesting? And then finding my place of birth and what's going on there, and the ability to be able to see even what it is. Well, obviously I've had teachers, I've had professors. I don't say it's just me doing it. I have teachers teaching me these things. And I have Satan showing me all the lies throughout the entire system. And he helped instill that sickness in my heart so I can defeat it. And then wake up and see the gang stalking corporation everywhere. Seeing that everybody's controlled. Everybody. You're all part of it. Everybody's part of it. You may have had evil intentions in the beginning. You may still have them. But I already won. I won. I won already. I'm waiting for the time to tick off where time's up. And when I win, so do you. Every single person that pays attention to these videos, there's not that many views on this channel here. Summer is here, but it doesn't matter. I'm talking to the top tier anyway, first and foremost, and then however many people get to hear it from that point on, you're all going to benefit from it. Trust me. How's that? Well, you're going to see how the world frees up. You're going to see how that noose is loosened. You can see how the handcuffs are they're looser. They're not going to be completely loose just yet, but they're looser. It's because I'm a filthy dreamer. That's how it's gonna change. My dreams. I'm gonna dream it into existence. But what if I'm already in a bubble, immersed in the fluid for 46 years now? It's an induced coma. What they do is you're tranquilized somehow to be stuck for your entire life until you die in this matrix. As soon as you die, they unplug you from your own bubble that's up in heaven. And as soon as they do that, you take your first actual breath, or well, I don't even know if you breathe. Do you even need breath? Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe not. Well, for the first time, you open up your legitimate eyeballs and you stand up and you're in heaven. And then you say to God as he's standing there, because he's an actual person, and he looks over and says, welcome, Robin. Well, it sure was quite a ride, huh? The whole purpose was to get you prepared for heaven. You got to get prepared to go to heaven. And it starts by being in the valley of the shadow of death. You got to enter into hell first. We're all born here first. This is hell. That's when you'll know, oh, everything I did, it didn't matter anyway, because I go to heaven. I'm no longer in the sinful flesh, so I can't even sin. And there is no guns, and there is no raping people. There's no desire. There's no, Satan isn't there. It doesn't, none of that cheating and lying and stealing, nothing. No desire whatsoever can possibly even be in heaven, is what you're saying, God. So all the people that lived on earth this entire time, they were lied to. They were told to believe that they're going to go to hell, a different place, and burn for an eternity. Didn't they know that they were in the matrix and they're plugged in right now, sleeping until they die? And as soon as everything's going to feel real, you know. You have to suffer, but look at the bright side of it. Your body is already in heaven. Your body is a perfect eternal one. It's immersed in liquid right now. They're just waiting for you to die into this system, and then they unplug you, and you get to live in heaven just like that for an eternity. Yep. What if that was true? Well, then it seems easier than that way. Than for them to surgically remove the back of your head and plug you into a body that's already being cloned and waiting for the brain to be plugged in like a motor in a brand new vehicle like Henry Ford, waiting to put in that big block. That way you can hit the ground running, and that's when the rubber meets the road. So the main thing I learned from being on YouTube is how to be myself, because everybody was trying to get me to be somebody else.